round 5 for the Virginia Championship Hare Scramble Series for 2025. Round 5, yep, Hamtown, Peninsula, 3rd year at this new location in Windsor, Virginia. And I did not get a great start, about mid-pack, give or take. And I end up right behind my brother there on the Yamaha. He ends up getting a solid 3rd place. But man, this track is tight. So a lot of tracks out there have like really tight sections, but I have a lot of fast flowy single track with passing opportunities. This one's kind of the opposite. There were very few passing opportunities out there. So you had to get creative at times, and you just had to be patient and let people by too. Going into this course too, I knew we were going to get a bunch of C-Class shenanigans. There's always some clown who's screaming, yelling in a bottleneck with literally nowhere to pass behind you. So I definitely experienced some of that, but all in all, great track, incredible amount of dirt. This ground is still pretty fresh. Again, only the 3rd year they've been racing in here, so it's not so beaten down, hard pack, and choppy. So a great grippy, loamy soil throughout basically the entire course. Few bridges here and there. They were all very well constructed, but here's our first major bottleneck. Actually coming up here in a second. So my brother takes this right-hand turn. Smart choice, because now I'm sitting here like this, like a clown. I kind of wedged myself in here, and I've got nowhere to go. So off to the right-hand side, you can see people log hopping there. Definitely a much smarter way to go. Not only does that save you, I should have just committed and went there, but I didn't. Not only does that save you a few seconds, maybe 20, 30 seconds here. I mean, look at me, I'm just going nowhere. Saves you 20, 30 seconds by doing a log hop, but you also get ahead of so many people. And on the first lap, in a tight C-Class race, that is huge for time savings. So super bottlenecky here and there, but surprisingly, like things kept moving pretty well. So all in all, a halfway decent first lap. I came into this one feeling pretty off, so I was even debating going to the start line and racing. But I finally just got out there. Yeah, there's 24F. We had a good back and forth battle here. Followed behind him for quite a ways. Then there were a few grass track spots where you could get in a pass or ask to pass somebody, like, hey, different class. But yeah, I got some dude behind me who could not stop yelling, but he would only yell when we were in a tight bottleneck and I had 13 riders ahead of me. Kind of hilarious. Yeah, tip for you beginners, don't ever let someone by in a position like that. If you are hanging with the people in front of you and there's a huge line of them, just keep going. The second you stop to pull over and let somebody by, 10 riders are going to follow suit. So don't bother with that. There are the right ways to let people by and also ask to pass people, and then there's the wrong ways. So these bottlenecks were formed, but then they'd clear up decently quickly. Now this is kind of annoying, but where are you going to go? There's a lot of saplings on the left and the right. You're just going to get caught up. Yeah, I have a few examples of where people are asking to pass the correct way, and I hop over and let them by. I don't get why people lose their minds in moments like this. Anyway, enough of that negative nonsense. This section was pretty quick, but also like a little bit sketchy. Pretty tight. Some of these trees reached out and grabbed me here and there, but I actually had no get-offs, hence no crash compilation at the beginning of the episode here. But like this was it. We're in the first third of this lap, and they were each about 6.5 miles long. This is one of the more faster sections, but like the first third was really tight, but the second half of the lap, or maybe like the middle third, it was nice and fast and flowy. You're grabbing third gear. I'm sure like the A riders were in fourth gear, flying through there. You could actually like get a good flow going. Still behind 24F here. Even if I did feel a lot faster, I mean, it's hard to work in a pass. Normally you can grab a hotline or make one up on your own. That person was nice enough to let me by. This is that section where it's a little bit quicker. Excellent conditions too. Like maybe mid-70s, sunny. No dust, except for like some of the open grass track gravel sections. We had a couple of those, but nothing too crazy. Can't really ask for better conditions. Course was really well marked too. Yeah, I gotta say, tight courses, they're all right, but definitely not my favorite. They're certainly fun, like 10 out of 10 fun. You're out there flying through the woods on a dirt bike with all your buddies. Can't beat that. But I much prefer the faster, choppy, flowy sections where it's just a physically brutal endurance event. I just love punishing my body like that for some reason. I tend to do better on those tracks as well. But, you know, like for C-Class, we got pretty good flow. We're working through here real nice. 24F stalls. Come on, buddy, go, 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 get her started. Right before this little fast section, but, you know, we catch up real quick. Woo! I throw out a woo-woo to ask to pass, but I don't blame him for not letting me by right there, because you pull over to let me by, then 2-3 other guys are probably going to go. But at least he knows, hey, I'm a little bit faster than you. If you have a good spot, can you let me by? So I'm trying to find alternative hotlines through there. They don't really exist. And here's another good note for any beginners out there. In situations like this where I feel a smidge faster than him, don't be right on their tail, because if they get caught up in a tree or if they crash right in front of you, you've got nowhere to go to get around them. It's always good to leave like a bike length or two so that you can kind of react really quickly. And we got this guy.
You better go! You better go!
That's the cat who is just screaming to get by, but only at the bottlenecks. That's Tim shouting behind me. I got you, Tim. That's how it's done. Boom, boom. Easy day. It helps too if you shout different class, but make sure you're certain of it. This little section I never really nailed. Someone tried to put in a pass on me there, but I cut him off. I think I let him off here when this opens up into the wide section. Oh no, that's my buddy Brandon. Yeah, I pull off right there. We're in different classes this year. He's in the class behind me, so he's already made up a 30-second gap. But I pass him back later on. Definitely got that on camera. We'll see that. He's riding really well this year, though. And then it just tightens right back up. But you still got decent flow through here. Like, this isn't insanely tight. Plenty of that, though. Yeah, I put these Cycra full wrap handguards to work. Definitely a trade-off between full wrap handguards and flag mounts. Flag mounts, you're skinnier, so you can sneak past trees. And when you do clip one, they don't grab your bars and throw them. But as my buddy AK, who raced today, will attest for, yeah, see right here. I'm caught up behind him, and I've just got there's nowhere to go. It's hard to tell on camera with this fisheye lens, but if there was a place to easily sneak by him, I would have. You also notice that I'm not screaming at this rider ahead of me. I'll pass when I find a good spot. I think we got a break in the track right here. Yeah, boom, boom, easy day. But yeah, my buddy AK, he clipped a few trees and actually like smashed the outsides of his hands a little bit. So flag mounts are great. They don't disturb your handlebars when you're clipping trees. But with the full wrap handguards, you can just mow over a lot of that small stuff. So it's a trade-off. Personal preference. I think that was Dexter. He only put in one lap. I don't know what was up. He's normally a fast rider. I thought someone was right on my tail, so I gave him a shot to pass, and either no one was there or they didn't choose to pass. Ooh, keeping it C-class. Yeah, then it opens up to another little section right here. See a little bit of dust, but nothing too crazy. It was kind of weird going really fast on those grass tracks and then diving into bobbing and weaving around these little trees. Definitely had to be ultra focused. Here's where it really opens up. Another section to sneak in a pass if you could, or to let people by. It's nice little 180s. These berms were okay in the beginning of the day, but really those were basically all loose powder. They started to blow out, and you couldn't really trust them at all. This little section too was nuts. Oh, as I fumbled through there, man, that was tougher than it looked. You're going really fast, and then you've got this extremely sharp little left-hander around this small tree. Decently fast and flowy through here too. I love these little jumpy jumps right here. Right into the woods. I think that's 24F too. We're still right with each other here. And here's where it really opened up for a lot of grass tracks. So I think I keep this whole section in here just to show you this little specific grass track spot. A lot of racing happened out here too. And I think his name's Gage. Boom! Got me splattered with mud. I did not realize that there was a little mud hole over there. And I was so close to him, I got sprayed pretty good. My goggles got speckled with mud. Pretty funny. Luckily that gravel wasn't too sketchy, but it did have a few spots where it started to pile up, so it could get a little thick and heavy. Trying to get the pass. I'm halfway decent in this grass track stuff, but then again, so is everybody else. It's easy to go fast here. Oh, maybe get one on the outside. These turns had a lot of grip early in the race, but on the third and fourth lap, those turns were like all silted. There was no like main rut. Maybe for a little bit, but so I would play with the outsides and the insides, trying to find actual grass, get some grip. Here's Randall. Oh, I see him, so I'm thinking I'm gonna take you here, bud. You don't know I'm right behind you. Maybe I can catch you on one of these straights. There was a deep little inside rut right here that was slow. I tried going outside of that every time after that. Closes off the inside. Goodbye. Kind of blew through that corner a little bit. And they kept this scoring section really tight too, so it slowed you down a lot. I mean, that's by design for safety and everything. Then you blitz out to more grass track. So lap 1 complete, feeling decent. I think I'm in 9th place in my class out of, I don't know, maybe like 15 riders. Lap 2, feeling decent, never got any arm pump. I actually never really got winded. Like, I never had any arm pump fatigue. My heart was never like pounding or anything like it is in a lot of the other faster races. Like, I could have done 6-7 laps, I feel like. Maybe I just wasn't pushing it enough. But had some battles here on the second and third and fourth lap. In a lot of races, because the tracks are so fast and so long, like maybe 10 miles or more, you tend to get pretty spread out, so it's not uncommon to go like 15, 20 minutes without seeing anybody out there, despite there being hundreds of riders on the course all at the same time. But this track, being that it was short and tight with limited passing, you had lots of good little battles here and there. In fact, I catch a rider in the same class as me, the J line 30+C, right at the final grass track section of the last lap, and we had a pretty cool little battle. So stick around for that if you're even still watching at this point.
That was a sick pass.
Yeah, that was a good pass, and then there's another one right after it here too. I think they get me on the outside, actually. Someone gets me right here. All right, let him by, but either or. Yeah, let him by. Yeah, here's where you could really carry some speed. But deceivingly, not a lot of passing room. So many saplings. Sometimes you can just mow those over, but these were big enough to where they would have caused problems. Tucking behind this racer here. One more time through this high-speed section. A little bit of chop starting to form in the center. Kind of had to skirt the edges if you wanted to smooth that out. Yeah, I never hit this section good. But, you know, I see there's several riders. They're all caught up. There's nowhere to go. No reason to flip out and start yelling. They got moving. Yeah, never hit that section quite good. Someone gets me right here on the outside, I think. Is this it? Yeah, big old 4-stroke coming. Oh, there he is.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's Ryan, I think, in the class behind me, V. Somehow, some way, I pass him, like in the woods. He must have got caught up somewhere, because he passes me again later on. Little grass track. Oh, so tight through. See, like this, not a lot of room to pass. But a lot of people like this track. It was interesting looking at the lap times too. Some people were cooking through here. Not gonna lie, my bike setup's not really conducive for that kind of stuff either. I've ridden other bikes, KTMs like 300s just like mine, where like I think the fork settings were a little bit higher or lower, and they just, man, the steering just like fell right into those corners. It just felt so natural. I think I rode Jeff Sheeran's bike once. He had a demo bike or something like that, and it steered for you going into the turns. It felt like through stuff like this. So I think if I want to get better at that stuff, I'm really going to have to play with the settings. But the bike's so stable in the faster, flowier, choppier stuff. I think I'd prefer to excel in those places rather than, yes, there he goes. Passes me again. I think I'd rather excel in those places than in the super, super tight stuff. This is really the only track where there's a lot of it. So there's lap 2 in the books. Feeling much better. I don't know what was up with me. I got like 2.5 hours of sleep the night before, and I just was not feeling right. But despite that horrible line I just took, lap 3 and especially lap 4 were pretty smooth for me. I finally picked it up. Of course, my final lap, my fastest lap, is the one where I include the least amount of footage. It's just, yeah, there's Stacy Griffin. VCHSS legend, if you know, you know. Yeah, but these turns started to get a little slicker. A little looser with a lot more powder building up. See, with this small little bottleneck, not really an easy way to just go flying around them. So in a lot of cases, you just had to like kind of wait for the person to get moving. Oh, sneaking a pass there. Yeah, again, not many hot lines at all.
Go.
Yeah, letting that run by, but I didn't realize that Josh Roche was right behind him. I think that's an in-class battle. So as soon as I find a spot, I let him go. You're welcome, Josh. Go get him. I think that's an in-class battle that they had going on. So they're moving pretty good through there. I tried to hang in with them as long as I could here. This section had really good flow. This is where I finally started picking up some speed in third gear. I wouldn't doubt it if like the A's were racing in fourth right there. I'm on stock trans. So of course I'm on the stock transmission, but stock gearing and everything, sprockets. Oh, I hated this section so much. You know, like lovely. Yep. Someone just hollered to pass. I'm like, I got you. I'm going to wait till I find a safe spot. Not really finding anything, but I also have this rider up ahead of me too. So if I come to a stop to let them by, well, I'm just going to be on their tail because they're going to be on that person's tail. So I always try to be courteous and considerate. Here we go. But you kind of got to use logic too. I think that's a Suron Ultra B. He catches me every race on that thing, and he rips it pretty good. I wonder how the electric bike does in this really tight stuff. You got the hand lever rear brake. That's got to be nice. No worries about like clutching a lot. So that won't like stiffen up on you. Actually, my clutch, I clutched a lot for this race, obviously. Really tight, so when you're in between gears, just kind of riding that clutch a little bit, but I tried to be conscious and stay off the clutch in spots wherever I could just to keep it from getting too hot. And yeah, my clutch never really stiffened up too much. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Trying to keep the pressure on. This little inside rump is okay, actually, right there. There's John. Sun's out, guns out. Looking good. You've been working out. So we got this fast section right into this really sharp hand lefter. With the tree in the middle that kind of forced you to awkwardly navigate that section. So he gets a look back and lets me by, but I was surprised. We were both cooking right at about the same speed together, so. But I get it, you know. You got someone on your tail, and they're not giving you the revs or the woo-woos. It's just up to your discretion whether you're going to let them by or not. If you're feeling good, well, just make them pass you. But if you got a little bit of arm pump or whatever, you're starting to ride beyond your means, yeah, just pull over, let them by. Whoa. Little jumpy jumps, little third lap jumpy jumps. Right back to the tight stuff. Look at all these trees with all the bark missing at handlebar height. It's kind of funny. You'll see it at foot peg height too. Oh! I do that same thing where I follow the rider on that right-hand side right before this tiny little hill. I do the same exact thing on the fourth lap. So all those dudes just got by me. I'm like, shoot, I need to go chase them down. So I tried, but they were moving pretty good. I gained a little bit of ground on them, but never enough to pass them back here. And third lap through, these turns getting sketchier and sketchier. You really had to pay attention. It was very easy to really lose traction and like maybe low-sided or something. So I was out there for about an hour and 45 minutes, give or take. And here we are going into the fourth lap right after we get through scoring. I'm still chasing these guys down. I was ahead of them the whole time there. But then I got caught up behind that rider and bobbing and weaving through the trees and let them all by. It's so hard to pass, because everyone can go fast. Trying to hit the outside, get some grass. Yeah, but then it just tightens up right here. Still in 8th place in my class anyways. Downriders, not really anywhere to go left or right. I tried working this route here, but by the time I get through, they're already moving again. That's what you get on a really tight course like this. Yeah, we're wrapping up the fourth lap here. Again, I want to show the final battle. So here's towards the end of the lap, and I get caught up. I'm trying to pass that person on the right in the white boots. That's 9J. He's in my class. I'm like, holy shnikes. We were right next to each other at the start, too. I'm like, holy smokes. How long can you catch somebody at literally like the last couple minutes in an hour and 45-minute race? So I am turning on the jets trying to catch this dude, because at this point I don't think he knows it's me yet. And I really goof up here. You can hear it a little bit. We just rubbed tires. So he did a look back and he sees my number plate, and that's when I knew he knew it was me, someone in his class. And right there, I stall it, and I'm sliding. I'm doing a rear tire slide. Like, that was like a 60-foot slide with the rear tire hanging out, just locked up like an idiot. Finally got it started again, and I stall it again up here, but I am just pushing it, trying to catch him. And I just don't really gain any ground here. Every time I do, I kind of screw up a little bit. Blow out a turn, or I stall it like a clown. So he makes a pass on that person. And I'm thinking, okay, I got to get by him quick if I got any chance of catching 9J here. But then this cat turns the jets on. Couldn't quite get it in there. Come on. Oh, we got a couple more turns coming up here. Maybe I can. We got these two right-handers through this little dip and then around that tree. I'm just kind of full sending right there. And I goof up that little ditch. That cost me at least a couple bike lengths, I think, right there. And it's this turn right here where I'm like, all right. They're gone. Can't get them. So 7th place finished 4 seconds ahead of me right there. But win some, lose some. Overall, great day. Thanks for watching, everybody.